Hi, I'm Hejnewar and today I will be talking about worst unit from every faction. This video was actually inspired by Reddit thread, so I will link it in the description. Starting off with Drakes, and for Drakes it will be Drake Clasher, and I will save it right away. This is not a bad unit, it is just the weakest in my personal opinion. Still, you should use them, well that's it, there is nothing more to say, let's go to the next one. Next up are Dune Folk, and for Dune Folk it will be Dune Soldier. So let's compare Dune Soldier with Drake Clash. So Dune Soldier is cheaper and is better at dodging, meanwhile Drake Clasher has more HP, 2 more exactly, 3 more damage, better resistances and a whole additional attack of a different type. At least I, looking at this, think that Dune Soldier is losing here pretty badly. 2 HP, better resistances and additional attack already cancel out the 1 gold and the dodge upsides. And 3 damage, that is in my opinion a big deal. Thus Dune Soldier gets the spot of the worst unit in the Dune Folk roster. Great level ups though. Naligon Alliance is next faction on the list, and oh boy, this is pretty hard one, because they have a lot to choose from, but I think that for average player the worst unit will be the Dwarvish Thunder. So let's compare him with, for example, Bowman. Bowman is already pretty bad, no one plays him, Spearman is better unit, but it will be good comparison. Thunder has 1.4 more HP on average, has 3.8 more melee damage on average. I include traits in the calculations, if you're not aware where that points come from. Way better resistances, dodge, while very different on the surface, I would say on average will be pretty similar for both of them. In comparison, Bowman has 1.1 more MB and costs 3 gold less, and in my opinion the 3 gold will cancel out all the benefits Thunderen has. Now take Bowman, who is arguably already pretty meh unit, remove the 1.1 movement and you will get really not a great unit in my opinion. And that is why Thunderer is really not a great unit, not because the RNG that you get or enemy gets like people were talking, but simply because he is kinda weak in my opinion. And I will honorably mention Poacher because, well, he was recently buffed, so he's no longer as bad as he was, but he's still pretty meh unit. It's kinda sad for Dwarf because Dwarf really does not have good source of pierce damage. Guard is kinda good, but he doesn't deal a lot of damage for his cost, so well, that's about it. Then we have Loyalists, and oh boy, they already have a clean loser, and it is Heavy Infantryman, commonly called as Walking Trash Can. His resistances are offensive ones, his attack is offensive one, his dodge is defensive one, has 4 MP, can't really go on offense, and he also have defensive fearless trait. In short, this unit is a unit that tries to do 2 things at the same time and fails at both. In addition, because of 4 MP, if you actually try to attack using him, you are pretty much going all in, and if you fail you can't really retreat or you have to sacrifice the highs that you got. In short, it is a unit that tries to be tanky but still needs to be protected by other units, tries to be offensive but can't really attack units on high defense. Well, simply put, trash, worst unit in the game. Orcs actually have pretty similar story to Drakes, all of their units are at least kinda good. It is hard to point to one specific unit, and of the 2 possibilities, Wolf Rider and Orcish Archer, I will choose Orcish Archer just because Wolf Rider applies so much more pressure with the ability to level up quickly into strong unit, and the level up of the Archer is bad. That is it, but both are still very useful, nothing much to say. I'll also follow this, and for them I will choose Merman Hunter, still very useful unit but simply loses to other fish type units and doesn't provide for the faction as much as other similar units provide. And finally we have Undead, and for them it will be Ghoul. This is not a bad unit, it is good in my opinion. It just went into a bad faction for itself. Undead are focused very much on being offensive, rushing faction. Defensive units such as Ghoul does not fit in it. Give it to Knanga and they will love it, or the help in stopping or crashes. Drakes also wouldn't complain, as this unit, while not as synergistic, is still pretty good. Even Elves would adopt it pretty well, but not Undead. They arguably already don't need the help in versus Orc matchup, and in every other matchup they are better as attacker, and Ghoul is not in the slightest offensive unit. There were voices that Walking Corpse is the weakest, but this is really far from the truth. It is pretty much the opposite. VC is a very good unit, very dangerous for many opponents in most matchups. The power to replicate itself is just amazing. While properly used, they can create entire armies right on the battlefield, so no, VC is far from the weakest. Thank you all for watching, and if you liked it, then like it, or maybe even subscribe. I will see you next time. Cheers!